Hey everyone, it's Josh, and this is my second installment of Surviving the Pavement, which is basically a shorthand way of saying how to survive life in the streets, how to survive life as a homeless person. For those of you who don't know, I spent over 10 years in and out of the streets as a homeless person, living under bridges, living in and out of cheap motel rooms, in and out of vehicles, you name it. Okay, so I have a lot of experience with this lifestyle. And what I'm going to talk about today is one of the things you have to deal with as being a homeless person, which is passive aggressive Christians. Now, before I get into this, I want to say that there's a lot of Christians out there who are well intentioned when they see a homeless person on the side of the road and they truly do want to help. But there's a lot of Christians who do stuff that they just really shouldn't do. Um, for example, you're panhandling on the side of the road, right? Holding a sign that says, like, homeless, please help, or something. A lot of Christians will hand you what looks like a $20 bill, sometimes even what looks like a $100 bill. And you'll be thinking, okay, cool, this is awesome. I got enough money for a motel now. But then you open up the so called $100 bill and it turns out to be like a religious tract. I don't understand why Christians do this. It's so, like, first of all, it's pretty heartbreaking when you open that and you see that. But second of all, it's so disrespectful. I mean, you're basically saying, calling somebody a bum, whatever, when you want to do that. And to me, if you're going to call me a bum, I would rather you just flip me off and directly call me a bum. I respect that a lot more than you handing me fake money that looks real and it turns out to be just some reading material. Um, People have gone to motel rooms with those fake $100 bills because they look so real now, and they tried to give them to motel innkeepers, and motel innkeepers look at the bills and be like, "This is fake," and then you'll be like, "What?" And then they'll show you where it's fake, like on the back of the bill. Everything looks real except for the center picture isn't a pyramid. It's like a picture of some local mega church or something. You know, that's and please understand too that I appreciate people handing me Bibles, tracts, as do a lot of other homeless people. But if you're going to hand someone a tract, then just hand them a normal tract. Handing somebody what looks like a legit $50 bill or $100 bill or even a $20 bill and getting their hopes up like that just for them to just sort of have their hearts sunk when they actually open it up and see that it's not real money. I mean, that's like one of the cruelest things you can do to a person. Every time that's happened to me, I've gotten really sort of heartbroken and angry because, you know, it's just not cool, man. Like, I just don't understand why people would do something like that. Now, again, if you want to hand somebody a tract that people can see as a tract, do that. If you want to buy somebody a meal from McDonald's and put a religious tract in there, go ahead and do that. That's all fine. But to psych somebody out who's needy, who's trying to get a motel room, whatever they're trying to do through panhandling, make them think they have a legit $100 bill in their pocket when they don't. That's I mean, that's just cruelty in a way that I can't even really describe. That's something that, like, you would expect some bully from your sixth grade class to pull on some kid he was picking on from your fourth grade class. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff that is. So there's other issues too with Christians. A lot of Christians will pull up on you and start talking to you and be nice to you, right? They might give you $5 or $10 and they'll sit there and have a conversation with you. And you see these same people 2 days later and they're yelling at you and calling you a bum and this and that. And it's just like, what happened in these 2 days that we've seen each other? And they'll start yelling at you about how you're not trying to improve your life and this and that. I'm like, dude, you just met me 2 days ago. Did you expect my life to change in a 2 day time period? Did you expect that $10 you gave me to buy me a house? Like, what did you expect? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I think what happens in those cases is like a Christian dude will stop and do something like that, give a $5 or $10 bill, have a conversation with you, whatever they're going to do. And then they'll go back to their church and tell their friends what they did. And their friends will get in their head. Don't give money to those people. They're probably buying alcohol, whatever. And so the next time the guy sees you, a couple of days later, his image of you is completely different than what it was when he first met you, even though you've done nothing wrong in that time period. So, plus two, a lot of Christians will bring you to their church for like a church service, and I've come to a lot of these. But if you end up not wanting to join up with their church, they turn on you very quickly. At first, they're like, we really want to help you. Jesus says to help the homeless, blah, blah, blah. But when you're not interested in becoming like a part of their church, then it's you're a bum, you're a loser, blah, blah, blah. So there's a bunch of stuff with Christians, and that's why I generally steered clear of churches during most of my time as a homeless person. I hit them up a lot in my early homeless days, in like the 2003, 2004 time range. Because a lot of churches will give you like a gas card or a food card or sometimes a few bucks or whatever. But I learned to stay away from them because the headaches involved in dealing with a lot of church people just aren't worth it. You know what I'm saying? So for me to call a church for help these days, like if I go back homeless, it would have to be a very desperate situation. Like it would have to be one of those days where it was a 40 below degree wind chill and I just had no other options. But other than that, I basically stay away from like the church culture because, and another thing they do too is a lot of times when they put an arm around you, like a lot of church people, Christian people, when they put an arm around you, start bringing you to their church, start introducing you to their church friends. They get angry with you when you carry yourself as though you're an equal to them. If your demeanor is anything except for putting your head down like this and being, "Oh, thank you, sir. You're so kind, sir." They'll start turning on you for that reason too, because they really expect you to put yourself beneath them. And they try to hold you to standards that they would never hold yourself to. You're not broke. You're not poor. I just saw you pull a $10 bill out of your pocket. What? So, for me, as a homeless person in my experience in the streets, I stopped dealing with churches like a long time ago, as far as like trying to get involved with them, get any help from them. It's just, you can get help from them, but there's a bunch of headaches that come with it that are just not worth it, at least not for me. So that's today's installment of Surviving the Pavement. See ya.